Just imagine that you are asked to analyze the sales by the city, and usually you go to Insert and click on the pivot table. And let's say that we wanna choose the place within an existing worksheet somewhere below. After clicking OK, the pivot table fields panel appears, allowing us to select the cities for the rows and sales for the values. This gives us a complete breakdown of the sales per city. But the problem of the pivot table is data update. For instance, if you modify a value by adding, for example in this case, some zeros, it makes significantly larger. You will notice that the pivot table remains unchanged. That is because every time data is updated, we need to navigate to the pivot table analyze, click refresh, and after that moment the data will be updated. Let's try to do the same thing, in this case to find the sales by the city, but using the new function, which is called group by. We type equal group by, press tab. We select the row fields are the categories that we want to group by. In this case it is cities, comma, then select the values that we wanted to aggregate. In this case it is sales, comma, then specify the function sum, since we want to total sales per city. Close the parentheses and press enter. Perfect, we got the same result with the breakdown, but the key difference is that when the dataset updates, the group by function refreshes automatically. Unlike the pivot table, still requires the manual refresh. For example, I add the new name, I also add the new city and the car type, and corresponding by the group by table, it appears instantly. However, the pivot table below doesn't reflect the update until we manually refresh it. Let's start with the second example. Pivot table are still a powerful tool. But let's suppose that we wanna sales by city and percentage of total sales. With the pivot table, this is easy. We simply drag the sales into the values section again. Then right click and select show values as percentage of grand total. But as usual, we need to refresh it manually whenever the data is changed. With the group by, we can achieve the same result with a slight adjustment. Inside the function section, before sum, include the hashtag function. Then, after the sum, comma, add the %of. As the result, we got the same result. With the next example, let's suppose that we don't want to have the grand total row, but the headers displayed at the top. We can modify our formula. Pressing free, the headers option, lets us control whatever column titles appear, setting it to yes or no. But the total row option can be turned off by setting it to 0. Pressing enter, now we can have the clean table with headers but not total row. This is particularly useful for calculation like average price, where summing totals doesn't make sense. Something about the columns. One key feature of pivot tables is that column grouping. For example, showing the sales by the city with the car types as columns, the group by function doesn't support it. For this reason, there is a pivot by function. We write equal pivot by, we select the city as a row field, we select the car type as a column field, we select the sales, and use the sum as the function. Press enter, and now we have dynamic pivot style table that updates automatically. Also, for example, if we apply pivot by dataset with the quarterly sales, we can analyze the trends over time. We select the cities as a row, we select the quarters as a column, and we aggregate the sales using sum. That gives us an instant breakdown of sales trends across different time periods. Guys, pivot table is still a powerful function. Who knows if it's going to disappear? Let's grow together. Put your like and subscribe.